There's a new game being released today on the Nintendo eShop, and that is Darius HD. This has been released in other regions, but it's here new in the States, and there's also a physical release being offered for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. And in today's video, kind of a bonus video, I'm taking a look at this classic shooter and what it offers on this package. You know, classic shooters are popular, especially with retro gaming, and you know, this is one that kind of gets overlooked sometimes, so sit back, relax. You may want to grab some popcorn. Here we go. So Darius has been offered on other platforms, most notable probably for the original PlayStation. I had a copy back in the day, but actually traded it to a friend who was a big fan of the series. And so it was also released on the Taito Legends 2, and that was for the PlayStation 2. There's also a Windows 95 version. The PlayStation version, according to Wikipedia, was on the version 2 of the arcade game. You know, arcade games are disappearing pretty fast, so it's nice that these experiences that were only available in arcades are now being offered elsewhere. I think this game gets overlooked, so it's nice that it's being brought back, as I think it's a decent shooter. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I know there's a lot of fans of the series. You know, a metallic space fish. I mean, who doesn't want to fight that? And so, you know, it's got a nice introduction here. While this game retains kind of a 2D perspective, it has 3D polygonal graphics. And so definitely, if you're a fan of that 90s kind of look for games, you're going to be right at home here. And so there's a lot of neat things in this game that kind of make it unique for a classic shooter. The big thing, you're controlling a ship called the Silverhawk. Looks cool. Definitely with the HD remaster, it looks a lot better. I'm going to show the original release as well, as it's offered on this package. And that's going to be a separate conversation, but I'll show you that in a little bit. And so here we go. Always nice to have a shooter offer a two-player experience, and this one offers that. And you know, this is one I haven't played in over 20 years, so keep that in mind when you watch me play this. This is me playing this game for the first time. I played it originally on the original PlayStation, and so going into this, I'm a little rusty with classic shooters. You know, I enjoy playing several of these on the Sega Genesis. That's probably my go-to, or the TurboGrafx for classic shooters. But there were several released in that 32-bit era. Sega Saturn comes to mind, and this is one that, you know, came later in the 90s, and it offered some cool features. One of the features is you have these capture balls, and you can launch them out at several different enemies, and it gives you a specific like power-up, a shield, or additional weapons or missiles, and it's really cool. So it's got a really cool power-up feature that I really enjoyed about this, and so that kind of makes it very unique. You can play each level very differently depending on what enemy you capture and weapon you utilize from what you capture. There's also zones, that's what they call levels, and branching paths. So there's several different ways to get to the end. It's a fairly difficult game, as this is an arcade game, and so, you know, it's offering a specific challenge. You know, for many classic shooters, the big challenge is to beat it on 1 credit, to credit a game. I'm definitely not going to be doing that here. I'm not the best player, especially when it comes to this game, but I just want to show you some gameplay and what it has to offer. You know, like I said, if you like those types of graphics and gameplay style from the late 90s, you're going to be right at home here. For people that like more 2D sprite games, this may not be the game for you. One thing that is nice is that for entry-level people that want to play kind of a classic shooter, you can just pump credits into this and continue playing. So it is a straight-up arcade game when it comes to that. Now, let's talk about slowdown. Okay, there is slowdown in this game. The original arcade game had slowdown, and so does this. This has not been optimized for the PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch, for better or worse. You know, for me personally, I would have loved to have that slowdown taken out. As you know, with more powerful hardware, they can alleviate that. You know, they kept it in, okay, maybe just to keep it more original. But, you know, for me, not a fan of the slowdown. But here we go. This is pretty much the first level as I'm getting completely destroyed. But I wanted to show you how intense this game gets. Okay, here's the first boss. And so the bosses in this game are epic. They take quite a bit to take out and have multiple phases. But this is what Darius series is known for. These huge metallic fish bosses. It's awesome. Okay, I love the bosses. And this is probably the highlight of this classic game and this series. And so it takes quite a bit to take these out. And you are going to have to learn multiple different patterns. And, you know, the more you play it, the better you get, you know. And this is something I haven't checked out in quite a while. But yeah, I really enjoyed what this game has to offer. At its core, it is a classic shooter. So if you're a fan of the genre, you're going to feel right at home with this title. Now, a little bit about NN Games. They have released several other games, including the Cotton reboot, on affordable physical releases. I think that's pretty cool. I got my copy on Amazon. That's where I got several of their releases. And, you know, it's pretty cool that they're offering a multitude of different games on affordable physical releases for people that collect or people that want a physical release. I know I get many comments on several videos. Is this a physical release? Yes, it is. Is it out yet? No, it's coming in October. At least that's what it's saying. To jump back to the power-ups, once you capture something from an enemy, you can use it and charge it up and utilize it as like a mega laser blast. I think that's awesome. Definitely one of the cooler features of this game. Really, the boss battles are what make this a fun game to experience, as several bosses take a long time to destroy, and I really have enjoyed it because of that. So once you beat a level, you then have a choice. Really cool that you can choose which path you want to take next zone. And so there's several different ways of getting to the end. I really like that, as I think it adds needed variety to play a level over and over again. Especially with the capture ball, you're able to utilize different weapons too, so that's kind of neat. I'm going to choose Zone B, and you know, I want you to experience this yourself. This is the boss at the end of Zone B. Pretty challenging, and you know, this is going to take lots of playthroughs for several people to really master it, as each boss has their own pattern and has several phases. Now, as mentioned before, there are two versions of this game on the package. They have the original arcade release on this, and I wanted to show the differences. Really, the HD remaster is just kind of an upscale of the arcade game, and as you can see, both do have slowdown. And so that's really my biggest complaint, is that there is slowdown in this classic shooter. Usually slowdown in a shooter is kind of a deal breaker. I still think this is a good game. Is it my favorite shooter? No. But I think there's going to be several fans out there that are happy to see this release, especially an affordable release, with so many games coming out on a daily basis, especially in the fourth quarter. I know it's easy to forget about a game coming out because it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and I definitely think this is going to be one of those games. As mentioned before, this game is available now for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 on digital storefronts. And if you want to get the physical copy, I do believe I went to Amazon to get my physical copy for the Switch. It's $30 and available for both Switch and PlayStation 4. So what did you think? Are you familiar with this title? Did you play the arcade game, or is this new to you? Is this a new series that you didn't know about? It's a pretty strange shooter, and you know, this one kind of gets overlooked at times, and so I'm glad that they are offering this at an affordable price. And so thank you so much for the ongoing support. If you're new to my channel and you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading new content every week. I do a bad game series I do ranking videos. I also cover aftermarket games for classic consoles and handhelds. Lots of different content, and I'm sure you'll find something you'll like. And as always, let's keep it positive. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a great day.